Hey everybody, in this video we're going to look at simplifying expressions, which are kind of like algebra sentences that have fractions in them. So let's look at an example of one of these questions. We have 2x minus 1 over 3 minus 4x plus 2 over 5. Now we're searching for a common denominator. I know the common denominator is 15, but if you're unsure, a good way to find the common denominator between two fractions is multiply the denominator from one by the denominator from the other. So 3 by 5 again gives us 15. So we want our denominator here to be 15. That means for the fraction on the left, we're going to multiply the top and bottom by 5. And again, we know that 5 by 3 will give us 15. So that's our game plan here. On the other side, we have 4x minus 2 over 5. To get our denominator to be 15, we have to multiply top and bottom by 3. Now, these fractions are a little bit harder than some of the other ones we've seen because there's two terms on the top of the fraction. So we're multiplying 5 by 2x minus 1. We're multiplying it by the 2x and also by the minus 1. Same thing on the other side. We're multiplying our 3 not just by 2 or not just by 4x. We're multiplying it by the whole thing. So we're multiplying it by 4x and we're multiplying it by 2. So let's launch into that now. Our 5 has to be multiplied by the first term and the second term, so let's do that. We're going to multiply 5 by 2x, that gives us 10x. 5 by minus 1 gives us minus 5. The bottom of that fraction is 5 by 3, so 15. On the other side, we have to multiply 3 by 4x and 3 by 2. So 3 by 4x is going to give us 12x. We're multiplying the 3 by the 4, 12, and keeping the x. And 3 by 2, as always, gives us 6. And the bottom we have 5 by 3, that's 15. I paid special attention here to keep my negative sign in between the two fractions and not change it to a positive by accident. Now the denominator on the left fraction matches the denominator on the right fraction. So I can turn this all into a big fraction. I need to be careful here. I chose a question with a negative in between the two because I have to take away this whole fraction from the other fraction. So let's look at what the next line looks like now. 15 is going to be our denominator for the whole thing. We're starting off with 10x minus 5, and we have to take away 12x plus 6. So we're taking away our 12x, that's going to be minus 12x, but we also have to take away our 6. We're subtracting the 6 as well. So that becomes a minus 6. Now, hopefully remember that our x terms can add with other x terms or subtract, and our normal terms or constants can add and subtract with the other constants. So let's simplify this. 10x minus 12x, they're going to go together, and minus 5 minus 6 are going to go together, and it's still all over 15. So 10x minus 12x simplifies to give us minus 2x. Minus 5 minus 6 simplifies to give us minus 11. And again, that's all over 15. This now is our answer because our x terms and our normal terms can't be added with each other. They don't simplify anymore. So we are done. Now we're going to look at another example. We have x plus 3 minus a fraction, 3x plus 1 over 5. As with the last example, I'm just going to be careful here because I'm taking away the 3x and I'm also taking away the 1. So where do we start here? Same place we started before. We're going to try and get everything over a common denominator. So maybe the first place to start, if we want to break it down as simple as possible, is make this a fraction. X is just x divided by 1. 3 is just 3 divided by 1. Any number divided by itself is the original number. X over 1 is just x, 3 over 1 is just 3. And then we have our longer fraction here with two terms at the top, which is over 5. Now if we're looking for a common denominator here, I know that 1 is going to go into 5 and 5 will go into 5. So our common denominator could certainly be 5. But if we're in trouble and we're not sure what to do, we can just multiply all our denominators by each other. So 5 by 1 by 1, it turns out actually gives us 5. So our common denominator is going to be 5. To turn the first term into a fraction over 5, we multiply the top and bottom by 5. To turn the second term into a fraction over 5, we multiply the top and bottom by 5. Again, in both of these cases, 1 by 5 will give us the denominator of 5, which matches our existing denominator over here. So let's simplify that out now. 5 by x is 5x. 5 by 1 is 5. 3 by 5 is 15. And 1 by 5 is 5. We're going to take away 3x plus 1. And again, every time I look at this, I'm going to remind myself that I'm taking away the 3x, but I'm also taking away the 1. And now we can put them all as one fraction over 5. So we have our 5x, add 15. Again, we can do this because the denominators match. We're taking away our 3x, but we're also taking away our 1. So let's simplify this, again bearing in mind that our x terms can add with x terms, and our normal or constant terms can add with the other constant terms. So down below, 5x minus 3x leaves us with 2x, and 15 minus 1 leaves us with a positive 14. Our x terms have added together, our normal or constant terms have added together, and they're both going over 5. At this point here, none of these terms would simplify with 5, so I'm happy that I finished that question off as best as I can. The x term and the constant, they cannot add together, so I can't make this top any simpler. I can't simplify with the bottom of the fraction either, so I'm done.